Ladies and gentlemen, for the longest time, for the past 4 years, I've been saying that President Trump is going 8 years. So this will be the second straight election that I accurately predict. I also don't understand, though, why Democrats would tank their chances completely by going with somebody who looks and acts like an exhumed body, who is more corrupt than perhaps even Madam Secretary. Actually, that's not true. But we're seeing now that he's approaching that level of corruption. And we're seeing from their own words, so usually their own words do them in. We're seeing from their own words. And you can watch Tucker Carlson on Fox. We're seeing from their own words. Tony Bubala being interviewed. We're seeing from their own words that they have they tried to sell access to the vice presidency. You don't go from, according to Vanity Fair, I believe it was Vanity Fair, around $200,000 net worth. So it was around $200,000. This is an article in Vanity Fair from 2008. 10 things you need to know about Botox be the exhumed body. Todd S. Purdom and Dee Dee Myers present 10 things you may not know about Joe Biden, but that everyone will. Maybe by the time you read this. Number 1, he is practically the poorest sitting member of the Senate, with a net worth ranging from something like negative $300,000 to positive $200,000. How do you go from possibly a negative $300,000, that you owe $300,000 more than you have, to now $10 million? How does that happen? And by the way, be here every day at 1 p.m. and 10 p.m. 1 p.m. and 9 p.m. Pacific for the live streams. I have the two best live streams, two best political live streams, the best afternoon and the best evening live stream in all of YouTube for politics. So be here. And subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel. If you want to support my voice, my Patreon is below. Make sure to hit the notification bell, and also make sure your phone allows YouTube notifications. My website's coming out, a revamped website. If you want to be part of a newsletter, it's contactgoodman78@gmail.com. The issue is not about making money after you're in politics. That's fine. But if you're selling access to the vice presidency and using your son as a broker or middleman or conduit, and your brother as a way to transfer funds to you, that's a big problem. So they say, well, he's had from this Vanity Fair article in 2008, the past 12 years, he's had a whole lot of book deals and speaking engagements, which is what the Clintons have said. They've made all their money from. Okay. Book deals and speaking engagements don't get you $10 million in 12 years. Unless you're like, have you read a book by this man, the former vice president? Is he known to speak throughout Wall Street? No. So then how did he get that money? He got the money through legal graft. Okay? It's basically bribery and graft, but in a legal way. And it's actually not legal, but the way they did it was, nothing wrong. He was on the board of directors, and he was setting up business deals. And oh, by the way, everyone wanted to get access to his father. And now we have Tony Bubala. I'm not saying the full name, obviously, just because the algorithm almost certainly has the name. But now you have this business associate, who has the goods. And this is their own words, by the way. So you have William Barr and John Durham and John Radcliffe, who are what's taking place is not just about now Kevin Kleinsmith, who was indicted, and Clapper and Brennan and Comey and Strzok and McCabe. That's 4 years ago, and we're still talking about all those people. Now, though, we've kind of forgotten about them for a moment, and now it's all the corruption linked to the former vice president. And what do you like? Do you think there are any correlations between a computer that the Federal Bureau of Investigation has right now that they've had since December of 2019? Do you think there's any correlation between all of those people who covered up the Clinton email probe and also now with... Do you think there's any correlation between the corruption then and the corruption today? Well, of course there is. Democrats can't type an email without tanking their chances. They literally cannot type an email without absolutely destroying any chance of being victorious in an election. A computer with classified intelligence a week before the election was held by the Federal Bureau of Investigation in 2016. There were salacious photos in that computer because, of course, it belonged to Anthony Weiner. So you know there were salacious photos. Then he served a prison sentence. There was classified intelligence on that computer. Nobody knows how it got there. They swept it under the rug. They said, oh, we didn't find anything. But they were thinking of their own behind. Comey tanked Clinton's campaign. President Trump, I believe, still would have won, but it might have been close, or he might have still lost. He might have lost. Comey actually tanked that campaign. It wasn't Russian interference. It was Comey. But Comey didn't do it to help Republicans. Comey did it because the corruption was so vast that when he tried to cover up, the email probe was a cover-up. That wasn't... They didn't run the email probe the way they ran the Mueller probe, which was nothing. There wasn't even a predicate crime there. Here you had servers with top-secret intel. Comey said, she didn't mean to do it. Case closed. Then, a week before, they found even more classified intelligence. They were probably blindsided, or maybe they had to address the issue for some reason. And then, there goes 2016. Same thing with 2020. Now, Trump, I've been saying for the past 4 years, it will go 8 years. Democrats cheated Bernie Sanders. They elevated President Trump. They lost the election like I said they would in 2016. And I was writing constantly in The Hill, The Huffington Post, and Salon saying Clinton cannot win. I've been saying that Clinton's going to replace Biden forever, and I just can't believe they're actually going to go with this man. I'm still keeping with the prediction that Clinton will replace Biden. But alongside that prediction is another one that I've been saying for 4 years, that President Trump is going 8 years. That is actually the most, I guess, consequential or the most important for the country. That evaluation or analysis or prediction or whatever. I've been saying for 4 years, and if you watch the channel, I've been saying for 4 years President Trump's going 8 years. I can't believe that they would deliberately tank their chances with a person who, even before the computer was left at a computer repair shop, which you couldn't even make that up, even before that, you have a person with, there's zero enthusiasm for this man. Trump is infinitely better on every issue, domestic foreign policy, infinitely better. His policies are infinitely better than Biden's policies, which led to crime bills and 100 to 1 sentencing disparities, the destruction of Libya with a failed NATO intervention. I mean, there hasn't been a foreign policy achievement in 47 years from this man. Then you have foreign policy achievements left and right. Peace deals between UAE and Bahrain and Israel, Serbia and Kosovo. First president stepped foot in North Korea to begin détente between North and South Korea, where President Moon Jae-in of South Korea stated that Trump deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. So, and then you have 4 years of fabricated scandals that are now actually not even, okay, before they would misquote him, then they would quote him and then say this is what he really meant, or they would actually slice up quotes. Then they'd misquote him. Now they're fabricating quotes for Ivanka Trump, Jared Kushner, and they're making things up, and then they're suppressing stories. So they think that if you don't hear about it, which everyone has heard about what's going on, if you watch Tucker Carlson, on Fox, you've seen the interview tonight. It's all out in the open. So they're not doing themselves. The fact that they're trying to cover everything up makes them look even more guilty in the eyes of people. You're looking at a decisive victory, November 3rd. There is zero enthusiasm for Biden, and they're not outperforming. They're not even performing in terms of expectations for early voting. They're not even meeting those expectations. In Michigan, they're certainly not. And I explained that tonight in the live stream. Give me your thoughts below. Ladies and gentlemen, be here tomorrow at 1 p.m. The live streams every day and the upload in the evening. The live streams are the best political live streams in all of YouTube. Tell your friends about my 1 p.m. and my 9 p.m. live stream. Thank you so very, very much.